You know, my testimony is one of poverty. I always say that I was a rung lower than poor. I was po. 128 Washington Street was the first apartment we lived in. It was a third-floor apartment in a tenement house in Central Falls, Rhode Island. And that's where most of my childhood memories were formed. It was infested by rats. We would go to bed and hear rats killing the pigeons in the roof. I mean, loud, squealing noises. We would wrap our sheets around our necks at night because the rats would crawl through holes in the wall, and you could hear them eating our toys at night and jumping on top of our beds. Most of the time we had no hot water. Most of the time we had no phone. Most of the time we had no food. After the public assistance check came the first of the month, you know, with 5, 6 kids, you'd buy the groceries, and 2 weeks later, the food would be gone. And then you would be hustling. And the reason why I always talk about that kind of beginning is because nobody talks about poverty. They don't. And let me tell you something about poverty. You're invisible. Nobody sees the poor. You have access to nothing. You're no one's demographic. I know because I was that. No one looks at you. They go to school being hungry. They go to school smelling. That's a big one. Okay? To go to school with that sort of shame. All right? And people on the outside, the way they see poverty as just a financial state. Poverty seeps into your mind. It seeps into your spirit because there are side effects. Listen, my father had a second-grade education. He was illiterate until he was 15. And really, until the day he died, he really didn't know how to read and write that well. So what happens? You're the product of Jim Crow, born in 1936, South Carolina. You are not educated. You come up to Rhode Island. He groomed horses for the racetrack. The 2 biggest racetracks were in Rhode Island. So guess what? You're going to be poor. Bam, bam, bam. My mom, 15, when she got married, had a first child. That's what leads to poverty. I had a memory when I was 9 years old. And I remember my parents fighting in the middle of the night. It was so bad that I started screaming at the top of my lungs and I couldn't stop. My older sister, Diane, told me to go in the house so people would hear me. So I ran in the house. I ran to the bathroom screaming still, just couldn't stop, and got down on my knees and closed my eyes. I put my hands together and said, God, if you exist, if you love me, you'll take me away from this life. Now I'm going to count to 10, and when I open my eyes, I want to be gone. You hear me? And I put my hands together, and I was really believing it. 1. And then I got to 8, 9, 10. And I opened my eyes, and I was still there. I feel good. And I can't believe my life. I grew up in poverty. You know, I grew up in apartments that were condemned, and I just always sort of wanted to be somebody. So this is sort of like the miracle of God, of dreaming big and just hoping that it sticks and it lands, and it did. Who knew? So, I'm overwhelmed. Yeah.